All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Window to Origin episode 4. I think we're at today. We're here with a good friend of Condesa, Emilio Estevez from Honduras. We know Emilio quite well. He spent a good amount of time with us working in Australia in 2019. It must have been now. Before his whirlwind adventure around a few of our sister company offices was cut short due to COVID. But he's been back in Honduras now for the last almost 2 years, back in his native Honduras, I should say, working on setting up a specialty coffee operation with our sister company over there. Emilio's got a very long pedigree in coffee, growing up in a producing family and having worked through almost all of the value chain from the producing side to the export side to the import side with us. Hasn't roasted yet, I don't think. So maybe there's an opportunity there one day, but yeah, it's great to have Emilio on today. He's got a really interesting and unique insight into the entire coffee chain. So thank you for coming on. Good to see you.
Hey Harry, how are you? Nice to see you too. It's
Great
been
to
a
catch
long
up.
time since we talked for the last time. And
It's been
thank you
fun.
for the introduction. It is always a pleasure.
It's great to see you. It's
So
been far too long.
yeah,
Um,
it's
but
been too long.
I think it'd be interesting to hear, because you do have a really interesting background in coffee. It'd be nice maybe if you wanted to do a little bit more of a deep dive into your sort of background in coffee, and tell everyone a little bit about you, and then we'll be able to understand your perspectives maybe a little better.
Yeah, of course. So as you already say it, I'm from Honduras, right? And I have been working in coffee since I was a child. But I mean, most of the people here from the rural zones or places are working in coffee. Like we are more than 100,000 people working on it, and I got the chance to be working on different step of the value chain. I guess that because of that, I'm one of the lucky guys that get to do what they did when they were a child and keep doing it with passion, though. So how did I start in coffee? Like with my dad, as I just said. So he started growing a little farm, like maybe 10 hectares, but then he managed to grow it. I did some studies on coffee too, and that led me to be working with ECOM Group, which I'm very happy to do it. There's one thing that I really love it, and it is that I get this big challenge to open up a new branch of specialty coffee for our company here, which is not easy at all. It is not easy at all. Because, when you do manage a farm, it's totally different than when you manage a company that is working with 20, 30, 100 different people. Like, it doesn't matter in that number, but the challenge is a bit scary at the beginning, though. And what was the plan? The plan was for us to be in different countries, to start up in Honduras, to do logistic, to do exporting, to do importing, as you say, to get the whole picture, to get the whole picture and try to transmit what is important in the coffee value chain for the farmer. And that's what we have been trying to do. But as I just say, like there is many rocks on the path. But we have happily managed to get some good volume coffee and to put it on good hands like yourself made. hmm
Thank you.
So, uh as for Honduras, there is a few questions that people always ask, and it is how those people manage to create a specialty, and that is one of the questions that we will get forward while we talk about the specialty and about this meeting, right? But it is hard. It is hard, and it needs the help of everyone in the value chain to make it possible.
I mean, it's really incredible what you managed to achieve in the couple of years that you've been, running this specialty program out of Honduras, especially coming out of a period of, very low prices for producers. I can't imagine it's easy to let alone to keep people producing coffee, but to be putting in the extra effort, the extra time, the extra investment as well, the financial cost in producing high quality coffees. How's that sort of experience been for you over the last couple of years? And not to mention a global pandemic actually in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, of
It doesn't
course.
make it
So
easy.
COVID has been a little bit challenged in terms of logistics, but also in terms of relationships. There is many people outside in Honduras that you cannot reach them through a cell phone. You gotta go to their farm, you gotta visit the coffee zones, and then you gotta talk and try to explain them what your plan is. But rather than being a problem of uh, time, money, like finance, sometimes is not a problem. The problem is to try to change people's minds. Because as Honduras, we are a conventional coffee country. And what is the main issue that I have found? It is that people usually want to go into the specialty side of the coffee, but if we don't get to open a door for them and they sell the coffee that they treat like beautifully and they don't find a buyer for it, then they get discouraged. And the last or the next year, they turn off to be working on conventional again. And that is one of the main issues because I can, let's say, go to Copan right now and try to speak with 20 different people to make a lot. Let's say of a regional, a community blend, or it could be a beautifully micro lot or macro lot. So they are happy to invest because it is an investment of time, of money, and everything. And but if everything turned off to be not like they want, then it is a mess. It is a complete mess because they get mad of you, get mad of the system, of the market, and then rather than helping the quality of Honduras to increase, we are actually harming everything in the coffee value chain. So everything starts with consuming countries, let's say. I'm not blaming you for anything. I'm just saying like we need to position ourselves within a supply chain that wanted not only to invest money, but to keep a following of everything we are doing back in the farm. So let's say you want to buy coffee from us. I may not find the quality that you want because Honduras is not well positioned on a specialty. At this moment, no. There is more countries like Costa Rica, like maybe Guatemala that has that face like, okay, look at my side. I'm a really good specialty coffee country. So we are not at that point yet, but we are increasing on quality like year by year. So the point here is like I need to find you as a buyer, someone that wanna take and take the time to give me feedback, to help me up to understand the market, to get that feedback and give it to my farmer and say, okay, we may not have the quality that you're looking right now, but what can I offer you is this quality, these people that is open to communicate and help you to create a value creation process if you give us some more time. So let's put it in this way. Give me 2 to 3 years to try to reach the quality that you want. That is the biggest challenge to find that kind of people all along the supply chain.
It's interesting that it ties in nicely actually with a question that we gotten from KDT asking, as a producing country, what is it that you look for most from consuming countries? Is it feedback or investment or recognition or relationships? It sounds like long-term commitment might be the crux to improving and expanding on the specialty or the life cycle of specialty coffee in Honduras. Is that fair to
That
say?
that is actually the word commitment. That's what we need from everyone in consuming countries. Because as I just say, like without that, this is just a retail store, and we want to get the farthest away from a retail store than we can. So that is the sense of a specialty coffee at the end.
Yeah,
And but it is always important to clarify what is a specialty. So there is a cup quality, and that is the main focus for everyone. Like, I mean, people may say that it's not, but people look for good quality coffees, but they forget about that there is transparency, traceability, good relationship, and there is sustainability. And we wanna open people's eyes towards the other factor of a specialty, and that can be only through a good commitment. Commitment, yes.
it's
So
so
that is,
true. Because I think you're totally right. I mean, I think it's true to say on your side of the supply chain, but then also on ours. When we talk specialty, the first question is quality. But there are so many other factors that go into why coffee's great or why coffee isn't so great this year. It might not just it's not through a lack of effort necessarily. There's many other factors that come in. Maybe it's bad weather. I mean, Honduras had two cyclones previous or two hurricanes leading up to harvest last year. There's a lot of other factors that come into play that aren't just that will affect the cup quality. And I think it's on all of us to be able to understand and explain those issues or those challenges to whether it be roasters or exporters or consumers generally. It's a challenge for sure, but it's definitely one that I think
no, and
we
it
need
is
to succumb.
it is really rewarding when you find these people that want to try and work like hand by hand. I mean, there is always some issues like lack of communication, lack of volume, quantity, prices. Like there is always people searching for more, but there is always a middle point for everyone to win, and that is what we should look for. It. And it is easier in the specialty coffee side than the conventional coffees, and there is clearly a differential between both sides of the coffee value chain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just going back to what you were saying about the the specialty, I don't know, the specialty life cycle in Honduras as it is today. I think you're being unfair to Honduran coffee. There are some amazing specialty coffees available.
No,
I'm
of
so
course.
impressed by the coffees we see from you and from even coffees we see from others that I just drink in cafes. It's really incredible. I'm always amazed by the variety of profiles for really such a small country. The amount of the diversity in cup profile that is available in Honduras is really spectacular. Some really beautiful coffees. Yeah, really quite amazing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Do you have any
yeah.
favorite? Are there any favorite regions? Any favorite any little nuggets of
There
wisdom
is
for us?
actually one, the one from my farm. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I may be unfair, but this is the thing. We are composed by different coffee regions, and there are more of them that are like developed towards quality. If I take on my hands Copan region of Alaca, then Montesinos, they are, and I'm 100% sure they are the one with the better quality, with the better infrastructure and logistic to make sure that that coffee bean is gonna be picked at the mature time, the ripening time, the good ripening time. They are gonna be drying, transported, processing properly. They compared to other coffee regions like Agalta and El Paraíso. And I mean, there must be high specialty coffee in El Paraíso and Agalta. I'm sure of it. But when it comes to numbers and we weigh everything, those regions are less developed. That is the point. And even though And when you get to the reality and you are looking for good coffees, let's say this on my numbers. I'm working currently with 200 people. That's too little because then there is more coffees that I'm getting from Honduras people, and they are not associated in a group. They are only farmers. So let's say that the high specialty coffee that I'm getting, it is 60% from these 200 people, and the other percent comes from other people outside that I can that I'm not helping them to create more value. I'm just asking them like, okay, Harry, do you have coffee? Is it good or not? And that's it. Give it to me because I'm not big enough to give them technical assistance to help them with drying, monitoring, and everything else. I haven't I haven't get to that point yet. But there is another 200 people that I say, okay, Harry, what kind of coffee do you have? What variety? Where are you located? Do you want me to go and see how is the plantation going? Do you want me to see what you're doing at processing level? So there is those two sides. So when it comes to the other side, the bad one, where I'm not giving anything to the farm and just money for the coffee, it is really hard to find a good quality coffee. Let's say that just 1 out of 10 is a good coffee. So that is the point. The percentage is too low.
Yeah,
So
of
for
course.
that people is that we are looking for committed partners to help us take them for the hand and help them to rise in quality and quality of life too. So that is exactly the point.
I guess that comes back to commitment.
Mhm.
That comes back to the commitment that you were talking about at, the other end of the chain as well. Commitment from producers to creating these qualities and to invest in education or whether it be changing the way they process or pick or dry or store coffee. And not just on the importing side or the roasting side as well. So the
Yeah.
commitment from
So,
from all.
so there is a lot of things that I can do my side. There is a lot of things that farmers can do, and there is a lot of things that your side can do. Anyways, everything starts for making the best effort at the farm. It is always a start there. So if someone just say me, okay, look at this coffee, it doesn't matter if the coffee tastes like an 88 points coffee. It could taste only like an 83 and 84, and we can start working from that point to get the best quality possible and to get the best partner for that suit that farmer. Regarding those qualities and getting back to the question that you made before, there is different profile for the every coffee regions, but the ones that I like the most, and I feel like I'm betraying myself because I'm the western part of Honduras, are the coffees from Agalta. Yeah, Agalta has this stone fruity flavor that are, are totally different from the other ones in Honduras. But there is one point here. Like for me, Agalta is one of the less accessible and less developed coffee zones, as I told you before. So I have take as a goal to get a good volume, high quality coffee from good farmers right there. And I mean, it's taking quite a while. We have started last year, so hopefully for this year we're gonna make it work. I mean, it doesn't have to be high end specialty, right? But we are gonna make it working with these people.
Awesome.
Yeah, but other from that, there is Opalaca, which is one of the amazing results that we have get, like that last year in the last harvest. Oof, they have this like canyon acidity, like some of the coffees, like really fruity, and floral flavor, sugar cane.
Yeah, we're really amazed by some of the profiles that we've seen from Opalaka. Really, really intense, winey, like you said, Kenya-esque almost coffees, which is quite incredible. It's a really difficult thing to come across, and it's very, very highly sought after.
Yeah, nonetheless, every coffee region has a different attribute that make it rich in their own way. And just for you to know, there is some buyers that I'm working with that they look for good bodies and a lot of sweetness. So I know that coffees from Copan, and not all of them, but the vast majority of it has that profile. So I know where to look for. If I want coffees with big acidity, I know that I'm gonna go to Opalaca, which is Lempira, Intibucá, part of Copan. If I want some floral flavors, then I know that it could be your Santa Barbara or Marcala, which is part of the Montesinos region. And then if I want something completely different, I know that I'm gonna go to Agalta. Then at Paraíso and Comayagua, they got these kind of chocolate and flavors and sweet and sugar brown, like that kind of profiles.
So there's something for everyone in
Yeah,
Honduras.
yeah,
You just
yeah,
got to go find the right spot for you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And even, I mean, I have found that people tend to benefit the cup profile depending on the country. I know that Australia wants, and they really want fruity coffees. So I know that I'm not gonna go most of the time to Copan. I know that I'm gonna go with Lempira and Montesinos, Opalaca and Montesinos. Most of that coffee are gonna suit your market, let's say. And there is gonna be some coffees from Copan that may suit you, but if I wanna go easy and get accurate, then I would go with Montesinos and Opalaca.
That's interesting to hear. Well, just do you think that's something to do with your experience working in Australia? What were some of the best insights you got from your time here?
There were a
Yeah,
lot. There were
yeah.
a lot. I mean, one of the best insight that I get from Australia was the value creation process. Like, I mean, I thought that it was just gonna say, okay, let's put one coffee on a bag and let's give it to Harry. But it's bigger than that. You Australian, I mean, want lots of information, lots of pictures, communication, monthly or daily, or maybe just right now, like you want lots of information compared to other countries. Then I also get what people in Australia prefers, and there it was where it comes the cup profile. People may say, and let put this in Europe, that they want fruity coffees, or maybe the US wanted to say that they want fruity coffees. But, but when it comes to comparison, I mean, Australia is, for me, the top one with really fruity cherry coffees from the ones that I got. Then the other one, it is, I wouldn't say just acidity, but it's not as fruity as Australia.
Yeah, that's fair to say. I think people generally gravitate towards. I think there's a bit of a divergence. There's the very very clean, very sweet kind of profiles that some roasters like, and then there's the full other side of the spectrum, which is just fruit, more fruit, not can't get enough of the fruit kind of thing, which is good. But I mean, it's important, as you were alluding to earlier. Knowing it's the same for us as it is for you, knowing your market. Certain people want certain things, and it's great that not everyone in the world wants fruity coffees, because what would happen to the rest of Honduras if there was only fruity coffees getting asked for? You need to have markets for the stone fruit, for the floral, for the chocolate, for the basey, for the big body coffees. It's important.
Yeah, it is. So, in summarize, what I can say, Australia told me what they like and that they want to be integrated with the whole supply chain. and I get that really interesting because we are not used to it. We are only used to deliver a coffee. But you wanna go a little bit further. You wanna get in touch with the farmer. You want lots of information. You want me helping myself to sell my own coffee towards you. So in that sense, I feel like Australians buyer are kind of a door. They are not actually the importer. They are a door to present my coffees.
That's true. I mean, I think the way we try and look at ourselves is almost like stay out of the way. We just sort of an intermediary between a roaster or a barista or a consumer and, yourself or a producer. At the end of the day, we just here to get things from A to B and hopefully make it easier for everyone. But the real relationship is between, the producers and the roasters or the final
But,
consumer.
but you know that's the point. Like once I gave you the coffee, most of the time I'm gonna forget about it. Like it is not my problem anymore. But it is. It is because there is more harvest to come. And if you don't go okay with my coffee, then what's going on next year? So this is why we or you as buyers have to make sure that we get involved in the selling process because that's gonna help us help ourselves and to help you in the process. So that is really interesting, and I haven't get that from anyone in other consuming countries yet. Yet I'm pretty sure that there are buyers that are going and doing the same, but not the way that Australian buyers does.
I mean, it sounds like that's a bit of a challenge to some other buyers from other countries out there. Anyone watching? But no, look, it's so true. I mean, and again, harking back to relationships. I mean, we see from it's already happened with. It's only been 2 years we've been buying from. It's only been 2 years that you've been running this specialty program, and a lot of the coffees we've bought, the 2 years in a row, same producers, same profile, same processes, and roasters are asking for the same coffees. They want the same coffees. They want to keep buying it year on year, and that's really important. And once you get that sort of loyalty between and that relationship between a roaster and a producer, it's really great for everyone. It makes my job, your job, really easy. It also means that the producer can produce knowing that they've got a market, and the roaster knows that they're going to get the same, great coffees every year. It's
Yeah,
really
and
nice.
that is one of the points. Like I need you to help me. So I need you that go from point A to point B. And what I'm saying is, let's put that in context. The coffee that you bought from Opalaca, let's say, there were some coffee that they were good, and then there were the good specialty. But you didn't take only the good specialty. You also take the coffee that was good. And I really find interesting because when you told me to improve moisture content on our coffees, the people that you work with, they were happy to say, okay, we're happy to do what they want. And we managed to make it and work with 11% moisture for your coffee, which with what it could means nothing for some people, but in Honduras where the coffees are 12% moisture and where people doesn't wanna lose volume, it was a big achievement for us here, and that was because of the relationship that we got with you.
And I mean, from our side, it was quite amazing to see that as well. Uniformly across everything, 15, 20 lots. Every single lot was, at 1 or 2%, in terms of moisture content lower than the year before, which is great to see. It was, really amazing to see. Getting coffee from anywhere to Australia is it's a long trip on the boat, and it's hot. So having that sort of more stable green product, it makes the shelf life of the coffee here so much longer. So yeah, it was really amazing to see that you can manage to achieve that with all of these producers in a season. It's
But
really
then,
great to see.
yeah, but that's the point. Like you did it. You did it because you took the decision of not only getting the good coffee from us, but to keep doing it with the good quality and the specialty quality, and that motivate them to, okay, let's do things right, because we want to keep that relationship that was due to your decision of buying.
Well, it's good to hear.
Mhm.
Um,
That
it,
kind of people, it is the one that we need for the other people that we are working with.
yeah, yeah. It actually ties in nicely with another question we've been asked about in your experience in specialty coffee. What do you think is more difficult to achieve high quality? Is it the drying or the processing, or is it how long's a piece of string?
Uh, it depends on where we are, because as I just told you, Copano, Palaca, and Montecillos have like better infrastructure than the other coffee regions. Copan has even better infrastructure than the other people in the country. So it depends where we're talking. But let's say something right now. With all my clients and the conventional coffee that I have been working with too, because I'm also doing some conventional coffees. There is one bad feedback that I don't like, but that we always get, and that is that Honduras coffee doesn't last for long, and that has something to do with the infrastructure, but also with the culture of the people. So what I'm saying this, it is because drying takes more time than doing processing most of the time. So drying, because of the time and because of the infrastructure, tends to be more difficult than processing. At this point, processing, I'm taking it just as wash Honduras coffees. So when it comes to specialty wash coffees from Honduras, we are used to it. So drying becomes the critical point for our quality. But if we talk about different process like anaerobic fermentation, natural or honeys, there is just very few people who can carry out the process properly. Then I will say maybe doing a honey is difficult than drying. But country-wise, on numbers and feedback, the difficult part for us as farmers, it is drying because we don't have enough people to take care of it. We don't want to do it, and we don't have the best infrastructure to do it. So we tend to break the cell down of cell wall of the coffee, and we spoil all the quality that we get towards fermentation and washing.
Okay, so it's fair to say it's a case by case basis for that one.
Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on the case, but country wise,
yeah,
we got more more like bad feedback, like from drying than processing. Like
yeah,
for
yeah.
specialty, no one is gonna say, okay, your wash coffee is fermented. Like I mean, there are some cases, but those cases could be because of drying too. Because we
Yeah.
are drying coffee on a black tarpaulin where the water is not leaking, so and it is not perfectly homogeneous toward the coffee bed. So we make it to create molds for fermented coffee and so on.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't think that's unique to Honduras. There's definitely a case for that for lots of producing countries. I think in Central America particularly. So, um, yeah, I think I imagine a lot of it is structural, like you said. Infrastructure or lack thereof is going to be a huge part in that sort of drying.
And
Any issues that come from
I
drying.
guess that, yeah, I think that this question goes towards a producer, like, because this is one question that I always get when I go to farms. hey, what should I do? Should I do honey, natural? Should I go towards an Arabic? But I want them to understand like the first thing that they have to do is to create a good protocol to measure the whole process that they are doing, and they don't need like technological tools to do it. They are only needs to measure everything and to take care of the whole process and learn how to do a good wash coffee. When they handle it to do a good wash process, then they can move towards another one. They can move towards honey, but without forgetting of the drying phase, which is mishandled most of the time.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. I think we're almost out of time, but I want to ask you one last one. We've got a question from Sean L, who is going to be, it's a broad stroke one. What would you like the coffee world to look like in 20 years? Big question.
That is a good question.
Uh,
I don't know if I can answer that question because there are so many different countries like like the legislation changes between countries and the relationship and the coffee value chain is different for everyone. So what I can do say it is how would I like my coffee value chain to be on 20 years. And I would like my farmers to get fully knowledge on how to create a specialty, but I would also like them to be profitable. And that is one of the factors that we always forget. We're doing a specialty, we're telling people to do a specialty, but we don't know what their condition is and if a specialty for them it is a solution. So what I would like to get within 20 years is to create a responsible coffee value change that design a value proposition for both farmers and in consuming countries and that benefit all of them. I wouldn't say how would I like me to be the coffee world because that is too big, and I guess that at some point I don't have the means to change it all. I can do my job, my side, and that's what I would like to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emilio. It's been such a pleasure. I think it's been really insightful hearing about your experiences and getting your perspective on coffee generally, but specifically on Honduras. So I really appreciate you coming on with us today. I look forward to seeing you in person again, hopefully soon. Might be a couple of years, but he's hoping.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Australia is too far from us, but yeah, you never know. You can come anyways, and I can take you out to different farms here and you to meet different people. But
That'd
it
be
is
great.
also a
That'd be great.
pleasure for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, cheers. Bye.